Imagine spending months coding your dream app, hitting that launch button and realizing you missed something crucial. I've been there, and trust me, what no one tells you about launching your first app could save you a ton of stress, so let's make sure you get it right. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Kuba and I'm a seasoned app developer with over 6 apps live on the App Store. And in today's episode, I want to guide you through one of the most exciting and also nerve-wracking moments as an iOS developer, and that is launching your first app. When I first launched my first app, I thought I had everything figured out. Spoiler alert, I didn't. But through trial and error and many bugs along the way, I've learned what really counts. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand what to expect, but also feel confident about the whole process. Whether you're just starting out or already a seasoned developer, this video is just for you. So let's get started with point number 1, and that is, your code will be messy. And that's okay. The first step is a tough pill to swallow. Your code will be messy, and that's perfectly fine. Honestly, everyone makes mistakes, so let me share a quick story about my first launch. When I started my first app, I had this idea in my head that every line of code has to be perfect. I spent hours tweaking things that no one would ever see, variable methods, refactoring logic, you name it. And guess what? It slowed me down. It honestly slowed me down. Like, the amount of things we need to already focus on as indie developers is huge. Also, even on top of this monstrosity, like managing variables, methods, architecturing the app the correct way, is just a lot for us. Here's the truth. No app launches with perfect code. And actually, users don't care about it, like they can't see it. What they care about is whether the app works. So if you find yourself obsessing over detail, remember this, it's okay to move forward with something that works, even if it's not perfect. You'll have plenty of time to clean things up later. And speaking of that cleanup process, this is where the whole magic happens, refactoring. Let's do an exercise. I want you to think about the refactoring process as an open book, as a draft of a book. It doesn't need to be flawless from the start and even when first released. But when you revisit it later, you are polishing, you are simplifying, you are making things better. And here's the best part. Every time you refactor something, you not only make the code look better, because that's what happens when you're refactoring code, but also you'll learn a bunch. I remember going back to my first app 6 months later after the launch, and oh my god, what I saw there, I cringed at some of my code I wrote 6 months ago. But instead of feeling defeated, I thought about it from a different point of view, like, look what I did, look what I achieved, look how big of a progress I made in just 6 months, compared to the 3 years of actually learning how to make apps in the first place. Think about it from a different point of view, try to reframe it a little bit. Think about it that every time you notice that there is something to refactor, you grew a lot. And while your code improves, there is something much more important than this, and that is finding the soul of your app. This one is a big one, finding your app's identity. When you start building, you'll have a vision in your head. Maybe it's a productivity app, a game, or a tracker for a specific niche. But here is what no one tells you. That vision will evolve many times. And that's not just okay, it's amazing. Some of the best apps out there started as one thing and turned into something completely different based on user feedback and new ideas. For example, my app Memorize started as a simple flashcard app, but as I got feedback, it became clear that users wanted more than just flashcards, wanted stats, wanted goals, and wanted more personalization. The app grew beyond what I imagined because I embraced that change. So don't be afraid to pivot, your app will find its soul as you build, test, and listen to your users. And once you've nailed that vision, there is a new challenge awaiting, and that is the 80-20 rule of development and release. Here is something that might surprise you. The first 80% of the development, it's easy. You should focus on the next 20% because this is something you need to really prepare for. You'll quickly get the main functionality up and running and you'll feel like you're flying, but then comes the last 20%, which includes testing, fixing bugs, writing app descriptions, creating screenshots, and localizing everything. The last stretch can feel endless, like the finish line is in sight but keeps moving away every time you add something. The key? Be prepared. Think about the whole process and schedule everything that needs to be done so your app will move code review much smoother. And with this mindset, you will feel confident that you will deliver and you will not get stuck in this constant loop. Ooh, I also need to add a description. Ooh, I forgot some localization. And I want you to know, if you are in that phase and you are frustrated, you are not alone. Every developer goes through this. But here's the thing, the attention to detail is what really makes your app stand out from the crowd. When a user downloads your app, They don't see your messy code, they don't see the all late nights you spend debugging your app. They only think about the product and how it looks. And all that work, well, that's what really turns your app from meh to something really memorable. But even after all that, I want you to remember, your first app is not the finish line. It's the beginning of an incredible journey. I know it's easy to put a lot of pressure on your first project. You might feel like it has to be perfect, like it has to be a hit. But the truth is, every developer's first app is just a stepping stone to get ahead. The lessons you learn, the skills you gain, and the confidence you build will shape everything you do next. My first app wasn't a runaway success, but it taught me how to manage projects, handle feedback, and market my work. Focus on the process, enjoy the ride, and know that every step you take is bringing you closer to building something truly amazing. So, that's what no one tells you about launching your first app. Your code will be messy, your app will evolve, and yes, the last 20% of the app will challenge your confidence. But here's the thing, building your app is only part of the process. If you want actually people to download your app, you need to master app marketing. Click on this video when I share exact strategies to promote my apps and get them noticed. I'll see you there.